Before we get to some reaction on Mavericks Media Day here on Mavericks Today, got to show some love to an NBA legend, Dikembe Mutombo, passing away from brain cancer at just 58 years old. Didn't really know this was going on. I think this was a private matter for him and his family, and we got the news today. And Coop, an icon in the sport, some of the best commercials you'll ever see as well.
Absolutely.
And the wag after he would block a shot, iconic. This one hits home because even non-basketball fans know the commercial and just seemed like a really cool, entertaining guy. So definitely this one hurts. So R.I.P. to Dikembe, and we wish his loved ones the best as they go through this trying time.
Absolutely, yeah. I got the pleasure of meeting Dikembe once at a Mavericks game, and he was very nice, and I talked to him for maybe 30 seconds, but you can tell why everyone likes him. An absolute legend of the game, and like you said, bigger than basketball for sure. So rest in peace, Dikembe, and condolences to his family as well.
All right, let's get to some Mavericks Media Day takeaways as it seemed like they had a tight ship operation going on over there.
Yes, they did.
A lot of coverage coming out of that. We're going to bring as much of that to you guys as we can here. Okay, I think this is actually probably the most notable thing from today, and we kind of saw this coming, but the head coach himself said it. Dereck Lively is going to be the starting center. Now, could that change? Ebb and flow of a season. You've got Daniel Gafford, absolutely, but the second-year man out of Duke is going to be the starting center to start the year. Here's what Jason Kidd had to say, quote, "There's competition. When you talk about Gaff D-Live, 48 minutes of rim protection, both offensively can catch the lob. If you ask Gaff and D-Live, both can shoot threes. Can't wait to see that from D-Live in the corner, baby. You also have Dwight Powell at center, Maxi. It's a healthy competition. We're going to start D-Live with the first group and see how that goes." So, I guess he's going to have to earn at least a little bit the starting job, but the fact that they're already putting him with the starters, does anybody think Dereck Lively's regressing this year? Because I don't. This is expected, and now it's pretty much confirmed unless he just has a terrible training camp.
Yeah, we all thought that this was just like the proper changing of the guard, the proper move to make. With Lively having such an impressive rookie year last season, he should be rewarded by being put into the starting lineup. Now, this doesn't mean at all that Daniel Gafford's role on this team is diminished even, one bit, because they're still going to rely on him to play a heavy amount of minutes. And Kidd mentioned Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleba. Those guys aren't in the center rotation. Let's just call it what it is. This is a Lively and Gafford tandem. Maybe on some nights you'll have Maxi play a few minutes here and there, but it's going to be up to Lively and Gafford to be those rim protectors and on offense be the guys that are catching lobs and making the most out of their opportunities when they get the ball as well. So I think this is a good move, and this is the right move for the Mavs.
He went out of his way to mention the three-point shooting. I don't think Gafford's going to be shooting threes maybe every once in a while, late clock or something, but I do wonder if we get a small volume corner three addition to Lively's game. We saw it in the finals. It looked smooth. He knocked one down. So, I don't think he's going to start firing 5 a game, but maybe 1 or 2 a game. Yeah. It wouldn't completely shock me. And if he can hit that at a good clip, Coop, that opens up the offense even more.
Exactly. Yeah. He mentioned that in his short media stint there, where he said, look, yeah, if the shot's open, I'm going to take it. He's not going to be hunting for threes to take, but within the flow of the game, if he's out there, he's left open because of the spacing, he'll not hesitate to shoot the ball. So that's definitely something that Lively's going to add to his game this year.
Grade the Mavericks starting 5, A, B, C, D, or F. I think it's one of the better starting 5s in the NBA. I don't know if I'm going to say it's the best, but I'd give it a solid A, man. On paper, it looks good. You have 2 elite ball handlers that can both score and dish. You have a marksman at 3, P.J. Washington, who can score and play defense, and a great lob threat at center who can also defend the rim. So kind of have a complete starting 5. On paper, it's an A. Obviously, got to see how they all play together.
One thing that I thought was a constant theme all throughout Media Day was it seemed like they're all hungry for more. They were happy that they won the West and they got to the finals, but they were all disappointed that they came up short. Kyrie said he was in the gym 3 days after the finals working out because he just didn't know how to do anything different. Luka said they're going to use it as motivation. So all of the guys just feel like they're really hungry and they know what the task is ahead of them. Now they're the hunted in the Western Conference as opposed to trying to chase down like the Denver Nuggets or whoever the Western Conference champion was. And it just feels like they all talked about that, yeah, they had a good season, but they ended up coming up short, and they would like to rectify that this season.
Yeah, P.J. Washington talked about how they have a chance to be a special group. The sky's the limit. So I think it's one of those deals where, like, when you kind of recap the entire prior season, like, you feel pretty good about what you did, but you also are left somewhat unsatisfied because you get all the way to the final games of the season. Only two teams get there, and you lose 4 out of 5 of those games. So you certainly want to try and take that next step. And championship caliber teams, they put their head down, they get back to work, and they start the grind again. So we'll see if they've got that within them. I think the mindset is certainly there. It's all about coming together and taking the next steps.
100%. And a guy that's going to help them get to the next step, obviously, is Klay Thompson. And it feels like everyone's very excited for Klay. Who wouldn't be, obviously? There are a couple of quotes that I just wanted to get to. This one from Kyrie specifically I really liked. And here's what Kyrie said. This was the big splash in the summertime. If you ask any of us, we really feel we got better as a team, as a group that has leadership and experience. It was easy to convince Klay to come here because of what I experienced. This team does a great job of protecting you, to go out of their way to make you feel special. That's kind of what Kyrie's echoed throughout his time here. And Kyrie, it sounds like he kind of, sent that message on to Klay Thompson, and that was a part of the recruitment process in getting him here.
Yeah, look, I think the NBA in particular, and I think it's it's becoming true across most sports, but the player empowerment is a real thing, and the NBA's definitely been more progressive in that area. Where, look, you got these guys, you don't have to coddle them, but they're running the sport. Yes. Like, you got to have these guys happy in your building, because if they're not, they're just going to want out. 100%. And more often than not, if you want out in the NBA, the team just trades you. So I think the Mavs have done a good job of, yes, creating a competitive environment, but Jason Kidd seems like a player's coach. Nico seems like a very approachable guy that you can go to if you have questions or whatever the case may be. So I think the culture is in place, and I think that's an overused word in sports, but I think it's true. I think these guys get along. I think they feel comfortable with the higher-ups in the organization. So I think that's very, very important. Coming up, we'll get to some more Media Day takeaways. Let's get to this Luka quote first, though. He says, "Unbelievable," talking about Klay Thompson. "He's a 4-time champion, amazing player, so I was very excited he signed with us, and I can't wait to play with him. You can't help off Klay. When me or Kai have the ball, you can't help off Klay. The spacing is going to be crucial." And what he's saying there is good luck double-teaming the ball handler, because if you do, if Klay's still guarded well, that probably means Lively is open for the lob up top or bounce pass, whatever the case may be. Like, somebody's going to be open, and now you have a guy who can really make you pay in those situations.
Klay gives you so many different options on the offensive end. Look at it this way. You're essentially replacing Tim Hardaway Jr. with Klay Thompson on the offensive end. And I think one is much more respected as a shooter than the other. And Klay just gives you so many more options as far as pick and roll or whatever. However Luka wants to play on that particular possession, he can do it, and it's really endless in what this team can accomplish.
He's tangibly going to help you more on the court, and I don't think you can overvalue the intangibles he's going to bring.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's seen it all in the NBA, and he's performed at a very high level in massive games in his career. So I'm pretty excited about this addition. All right, we'll kind of put a wrap on this here in a few moments, but get yourself a Luka Doncic t-shirt at chatsports.com/LukaT. Plenty in stock for you guys. Not everybody can afford jerseys, we get that, but these t-shirts are pretty affordable. So if you want one, go check it out. Link is in the comments and in the description, chatsports.com/LukaT. Okay, Kyrie Irving, Coop, seems like he's at peace. That's something we've kind of talked about since he's been here, but that continued to be evident today.
Yeah, during his little media session, he talked about how this was like the first time he was able to go on vacations in 5 or 6 years. We obviously had the pandemic and whatnot, but he was able to spend time away from the game after he broke his hand, and he kind of said, like, look, it's obviously not great that you break a bone in your body and have to recover, but he needed the rest at the same time. So he was able to take some time away from basketball, spend time with his family, traveling around the world. And it really just feels like he's in a happy place. And it's kind of felt that way since he's been in Dallas. And if Kyrie's happy, then that's a dangerous recipe for success if you're the Mavericks. Because if you have him just all align with everybody else. He's one of the best players in the world, plain and simple. We've seen it firsthand here.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest criticism of him in his career has just been, can he get along with the guys?
Yep.
Is he always locked into basketball? Since he's been here, he's been exactly that. Now, he's missed some time with injuries. That's been an issue in his career as well. But seems like he's going to be ready to go opening night. I would imagine, Coop, with him being a little older, obviously deep run last year, they're going to pick and choose, maybe when to give him an occasional night off or to lower his minutes in a game. But, yeah, I mean, he's got a big role and responsibility on this team, and I don't think you could be anything but appreciative of what he's done so far since he's been here. I mean, obviously, you would have hoped he played better in the finals, but, we're nitpicking here.
Yeah.
He's a massive reason why they made a championship run last year. So, and if they're going to do it again, he's going to have to be a vital piece in that.
Absolutely, and that kind of ties in with the last point, is this team just feels very close. Now, I thought this last year as well, but a recipe for success here in the NBA, and really in sports in general, is having a tight-knit team. Now, you do have those championship teams on occasion where the teams aren't very close. Like, you could talk about the Bulls, where they always, Scottie and Michael weren't the best of friends, but it feels like in order to have a championship-winning organization, you have total alignment from the front office to the coaching staff and players, and it really feels like the Mavs have this. Dereck Lively talked about it being more of a family rather than a team, and we really do feel that with this Mavs, with the team, and I do think they're in for something special this year if that's really the case.
Yeah, I mean, look, and I think it's one of those things, too, that, it's easier to gel when you're winning.
Oh,
and obviously
course.
the Mavs were winning last year. So, if they hit some adversity early, let's see how they respond.
Yep.
But it seems like they've got that foundation in place, which is so critical because there is going to be a point in the season where you lose 7 out of 10 games or whatever the case may be. And you got to lean on the closest to your teammates in those moments. So hopefully all goes well. And the vibes are high. And look, the vibes are high for most teams this time of year. Everybody's 0-0. Most teams have the same goal. But it truly does feel like for the first time in a while, the Mavericks are entering a season where winning an NBA championship is possible. Like, even last year, you and I were like, if they win a playoff series, great year.
Yep.
And they made the finals. So I think this year is the first year since – I don't even know when. It might have been the title year that you entered a season thinking you had a real shot at winning the whole thing. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. If your goal going in is to win the whole thing, you're definitely doing something right. And I absolutely can't wait to get this season started. If you feel the same way, spam MFFL down in the comments. They start training camp tomorrow in Las Vegas. I guess they're flying out either tomorrow morning or later tonight. So they're going to be practicing hard out there in Vegas. And before you know it, the season's going to be underway.
I can't wait. It's going to be a blast. We're excited to be on this journey with all of you. Hit the subscribe button on the way out of here, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.